meet Jeff and Oscar. So in honor of Autism Awareness Month, Jeff and Oscar wanted to talk a little bit about their independent lives that they both have and all their accomplishments and successes. So should we begin? Or you guys, let's say something.
Yeah, Jeffrey, you go first. Jeffrey.
Jeff, I hope you enjoy the show. Will be very.
My name is Oscar Siegel. I was born and raised on the Upper West Side, grew up in Washington Heights, and live in the Bronx in my own apartment. And I work at Shake Shack 16 hours a week as a paid cleaner. Thank you.
Okay, so let's get started, okay? So first, we are going to do the independent life of Oscar Siegel.
What I am proud of. The Oscar show I am proud of that I started in 2020 during the COVID lockdown. Andrew Harrison, Park West High School, my transition counselor suggests I join my own YouTube channel. And when I talk a lot, and then I submitted my first film, the Oscar show video, at the Arlington Film Festival in Boston. And then my independent life screenings, I used some old videos to put in one big video to talk about living and working on my own. Positive Exposure Pearl Ambassador. I'm a Pearl Ambassador for Positive Exposure. Rick Godani, he's a fashion photographer who photographs people with all genetic disabilities. And he was the way how I found him was through my mother, Vivian Duca. He was her real estate customer. The supported decision-making video is the alternate to guardianship. Say if a plane crash or they get into a big car accident, I know it just became law in 2 new countries, Mexico and Canada, and 2 new states, Kentucky and New Jersey. And soon later this year, it's going to end by Hunter and Burton Black Institute at Syracuse University is taking over.
And what are you so proud about with supported
I'm so proud of all my supporters. Deborah Powers.
Well, you were one of the first.
I'm one of the first in New York State that was a part of it, along with my father, Ray Siegel, is a part of it too. And Steps 2 and Best Buy Ambassadors. Steps 2 is a CUNY health study that I'm involved in. It's about health and nutrition all around New York State for Westchester, Long Island, Rockland, Orange County, Hudson Valley, and Capital Region. Include NYC Disability Pride film. I'm part of Include NYC. I was in a video with them last summer at Disability Pride, and I was on their junior board, and then it stopped, and then during the lockdown it restarted, and when I first moved to my apartment a few days later, they came to my house to make a film about me. Health study at the University of New Hampshire. I am part of 2 different studies for the University of New Hampshire. One about computer and telehealth, which is called the Engagement Team, and one is the Witt Foundation about health. That one called the Witt Foundation, which is from California. And the University of New Hampshire, they were the ones who flew me to Austin, Texas for the SNITI conference. And I got to go up there myself the year before they picked me up in Boston. And I am the vice president of Strong Island Voices, a group in Long Island, and that's going to expand to New Jersey, across New York State. Thank you.
Okay, so now we're going to hear a little bit about Jeff, the independent life of Jeff, and self-direction.
I'm very good at self-direction. I live on the Upper East Side, on 93rd Second on the Upper East Side. I met with 3 assembly people. I met with Tony Simone, Linda Rosenthal, and I met Amanda Seawright. I met Rebecca Seawright. Excuse me. I also actually saw, I actually with Deborah, and I actually saw Tony Simone on the train. He was on the same train. He took the 715 Amtrak. So basically, so I've done all that kind of work. I also just did a presentation yesterday with Tuesday with Steps 2 at the state office, and I was doing representing Steps 2. And Jordan Vogel was on the event. I also completed my POM training, personal management outcome measure training, 4-day training. So I'll be doing interviews and stuff for Denver and the New Jersey office and going forward. I also serve on a committee. I do employee of the month committee, so I do committee work. So I try to help out with that. I also just got a job working in a real estate office, property management office for Chestnut Holdings in Riverdale. So I do like office. I do like help with office assistant work, like affidavits and real estate stuff. And I'm also an ambassador for Best. I'm also doing ambassador work for Best Buddies and Steps 2. And I also graduated from a 4-year degree in college in Florida with an associate's degree in human services and a bachelor's degree in business management.
A lot to be proud of, Jeff.
Thank you.
So Oscar, can you talk a little bit about how long you've been with CFS and some of the other agencies?
I have been a part of CFS since 2005. Oscar participates in a lot of many different agencies, including Best Buddies, YI, JOPATH, include MIC, Support Decision Making, Steps 2, UMass Boston, Georgetown University, University of New Hampshire, University of Utah, Atlas for Autism, SNAP, Sandy's Real Abilities, You Can Do It All. Oscar participates in advocacy and the Vice President of Strong Island Voices. Oscar gets community health habilitation and is also a member of Self-Direction through CFS as well.
All right, Jack, can you talk a little bit?
I've been active member of the Family Center for Family Support since 2017. I graduated high school from a school in upstate Armenia, New York called Maplebrook School. Like a 4-year, I got my local diploma. And so I got it was accredited. I also graduated from accredited college, as I said, from Beacon College in Leesburg, Florida. And so I got a bachelor's degree in business management, associate's degree in human services. I recently got a job at Chestnut Holdings, and I also do ushering work for Green Street, a theater company. I've been doing 2 more ushering jobs actually in May. I did ushering work on Tuesday, and I was helping them lead them to the seats stuff. So I'm doing more of that stuff in May as well. And going over, I'm part of the personal measure outcomes, and I also I work with assembly people, and I actually my local assembly member on Long Island, I actually am trying to get him involved in helping out with this too. He's actually with Smith now. His last name is Fitzpatrick, so I'm trying to get him also. I wrote a letter to him, so I'm waiting to see if I can set up a meeting with him, try to represent CFS and stuff. So I'm working on that.
So Jeff is with Kashina, the first 2 advocates at CFS to go through a 32-hour training to get certified in personal outcome measures. So Jeff and Kashina are going to help our department with trainings as well as conduct interviews, which we are really excited about, and it's something to be so proud of.
Yeah,
Can you talk about what that is? Yes, of course. So, Jeff, do you want to help me talk about personal outcome? So, a personal outcome measure, many of you in this room have probably had a POM. Charles Jacob recently just had a POM. Kashina has gone through the POM process. Oscar has gone through the POM process.
Marta has too.
Yes. So, a personal outcome measure is 21 areas of your life that we just have conversations about. And then through those conversations, we talk about goals and we put together a plan in place for you and your support team if there's something that maybe you're interested in. So in the past, I've had conversations with folks during interviews, and we figured out that maybe they wanted to take an acting class, and nobody in their support team has ever realized that they had this dream. So it's different than your life plan, because a lot of times when we come together, we'll start talking about where else do you talk about, being in the community and, making friends. And they'll say, oh, at my life plan meeting. But this is very different because this is led and the conversation is led by you. So we can go in a direction of questions about the community, and then you could veer off and say, I haven't been, yes, I go into the community, but I haven't been to church in a few years and I want to get back to that place. And then I'll say, oh my goodness, have you told anyone? And I just felt this way now because we're having this conversation.
I
So-
didn't even know what's up, baby.
Hi. So it is a really unique, and we like to call it an interview. It's not, it's definitely not a life plan meeting, and it's not something that you need to have. Usually it's something that once you have it once, you want to keep having it. Because after my meeting with, let's say, Julio and I meet for a conversation, after that, Julio's gonna tell me somebody who's very important to him that he wants me to follow up with. It might be his brother, it might be his new staff, it might be his old staff, Tamiko, right? And then I follow up with them, and then I learn even more about Julio. I learn even more about what he's doing in the community. And maybe that staff's gonna tell me another dream of Julio's that we're gonna bring, hopefully, right, to life. So a personal outcome measure is another way for you all to get your voices heard. We at CFS want to make sure that we're providing the support that makes you happy. And that's what a personal outcome measure truly is. It's a person-centered interview led by you. We're going to direct you in different areas, right? We're going to talk about 21 different topics, but it's led by you. And ultimately, at the end of it, we figure out some really, really cool things about you and cool directions you can go in the future. Do you want to share anything that I missed, Kashina?
No.
No, what about you, Jeff?
Oh yeah, I'm also like, let's just say someone had a problem. I'm gonna give an example.
Yeah.
Let's just say someone had a problem with someone had a disagreement or something. I wouldn't say how they probably had to handle the situation. Let's just say someone had a fight with someone, and then they say they come to me and say, "Well, I had a fight with my roommate." I'll be like, "Okay, you know what?" And I'll try to intervene with try to figure out how to handle the situation. I actually did that one time. Someone
Negotiator.
I'm a negotiator, yeah. So I negotiate.
So
I'm a negotiator trying
like a
to
sounding board, right?
Yeah,
So someone during an interview you're saying maybe told you something and you were a sounding board.
let's just say I would advocate for them.
Yeah.
Let's just say that they had a problem and someone was nasty to them. Let's say someone was called them a name or something made them feel comfortable. They would come to me and I would represent them or whoever I would tell them. So,
Yes, we're very excited to have Jeff
That's
and
fine.
Christina on board. They've both been really great.
I do a lot.
Yeah.
So I also do that with my doorman too. Sometimes I didn't negotiate. I try to represent myself and go out there and try to.
And also really exciting, Jeff. I don't want to jump back to your job, but that was kind of a dream of yours
Yeah.
to do something in real estate.
Yeah, actually, I forgot to mention, I actually used to work at JLL. It's a big national real estate company. I worked at the Google building for two and a half years. With Best Buy, I had a job working at the Google building through JLL, and I actually did I worked at the Google building doing work for them, like office work. So I have a lot of work experience too. I used to work for a bank, Amalgamated Bank in New York. My mom actually was, she was big in the pharmaceutical business, and he got me a job at a bank. And then I had a lot of work experience.
Jeff, do you want to jump into this area that you wanted to tell everyone
Oh,
about?
yes. Yeah. I also I've traveled a lot too. I actually knew a friend of mine from high school worked as an embassy and a naval station in Panama. I got the royal treatment here, like maids and butlers and all those fancy kind of thing. So I did a lot of traveling. I've been to France, Greece. When I went to college, I also traveled throughout the country. I went to Amsterdam, Holland. They went to France. They went to Greece. They went to Turkey. I was on 2 cruise ships, and I also I've been to Brazil, Uruguay. I took a vacation to Brazil, Uruguay, and also Argentina. And I've also been to London, and I've been to Israel 3 times. I had my bar mitzvah when I was 13. Went there just because of my synagogue, and I have a good Jewish background, so I'm part of that. And I'm also my ambition. My dad also published a book called about baseball, specialty in baseball. So he actually mentioned me because I have my dad inspire by his book. So I'm also going to be putting in a book club, the reading club, because I want to put some of my information from my dad's book into that because my dad wrote a book about me that inspired his book.
Jeff is a member of the CFS book club, so he's
Yeah.
helping create an original book. What is the book called? Spots of Sunshine?
Spots of Sunshine. So I want.
You
So
like book
I'm trying to put my dad. I'm supposed to mail my dad's supposed to be mailing my book, and I'm gonna give it to Nadine and try to see if I can put some information about me and my history in the sports industry.
Wonderful.
Also, and it's also through Amazon and also Barnes and Noble. I'm also part of this program called Friendship Circle. It's a social program. It's run by a rabbi in Upper East Side, Chabad on 77th Street. And he's an Orthodox rabbi. He does like social programs. I also watch Law and Order, SVU, Criminal 10.
Right, Casey Good story.
Yeah, I know all the cases. Law and Order is my favorite. SVU actually, when Jerry Orbach used to be in it, he passed away.
That was the regular.
That's the original Law and Order, yeah. And then Jeff Goldblum was in the original one, actually.
Oh,
Yeah, Sam Morrison was the prosecutor.
criminal ten.
I know the whole book. And it's actually the guy that produced it was actually Dick Wolf. He's actually from Brooklyn.
Wow.
Yeah, he's from Brooklyn.
Good to know.
He's Jewish. And then I know I can read up. I talk about Law and Order all day. I know Chicago PD, the FBI, SVU, Criminal 10.
Watch the whole list.
The CIA. He also does CIA.
Wednesdays.
I can't even talk about the cases too. So that's one thing. I also enjoy taking. I'm very independent with transportation. I take the subway, buses. I also take the bus to work, and so I travel on planes, trains. I also go on Amtrak. Amtrak.
Yeah.
So I've taken that train before, and I've also taken planes. I went to Florida a few times. I used to went to my college reunion in March on the 8th because I was my college. I lived in my college reunion for many years, so I went to that. And then I also hang out with friends. I go to a gym called Asphalt Green. They also have one in the financial district. And I'm trying to lose some weight. I swim a lot, work out, doing my gym. And I also, so I said I live with a luxury condo. I live with it's called the Waterford on the Upper East Side. So, they're renovating their buildings, but I can go into that later. And then I'm also a member of Self Direction. I have a self-direction version, and I also decided to I have a good support team, so I keep my support team, and I'm really excited to have them also.
Great. Good job, Jeff. All right, Oscar.
I'll talk about it more.
I moved out of my parents' place in 2015 during my last year in high school, Park West. Oscar graduated from Park West with a high school degree. Oscar currently lives with roommates in a 3-bedroom apartment in the Bronx. Oscar has been employed with Shake Shack for 9 years. In September, he has won an employee award for 5 years accomplishment and is excited to get to the milestone of 10 years this September. Oscar enjoys making films and his independent life and showing them at festivals and screens, and we will see a screening today. Thank you.
This is just a few pictures that they wanted to end with that you guys can see. This is Assemblyman Santa Barbara, and this is Martha and Oscar. They're up in Albany over here, and over here you guys are volunteering with us over at St. Francis Church. So they want to be asked anything. So Oscar and Jeff, first of all, you guys did an amazing job. But some things that they wanted to highlight today was ask us anything. Jeff wants to answer questions about travel, volunteer work, living on his own, self-direction, steps 2, getting involved in POMS, committees at CFS. So you have any questions, planes, trains, you heard him, Amtrak. He wants any of your questions. Okay, and Oscar is really excited to talk about all of the outside agencies that he does work with and all the stuff he does with CFS, maintaining a job for 10 years. Okay? He wants to talk about living on his own with roommates. So maybe some of us are living in residences right now and we have roommates, but what is it like to live on our own with roommates?
Oh, I want to say one more thing.
And then presenting at different conferences, creating films. Does anybody want to create their own film, create their own cards, right, Oscar? We could talk about that. Responsibilities behind being a vice president of an advocacy chapter. So I'm going to sit back and you guys please ask your questions if anything that they talked about intrigues you.
Oh yeah, I also want to say one more thing about that. I actually found out that the guy that owns JetBlue, he's actually a Mormon, and he actually owns Breeze Airways. So he actually he owns a place. They have an airport in Florida. My family has a place, and he actually owns the same airline. He owns Breeze Airways, JetBlue, and Western.
Wow.
Yeah. So he has an airport. My parents actually paid that airline, but he's the same owner of JetBlue.
I have a question.
Yeah.
What was it like your first time traveling alone on a plane?
Oh, it was good.
Yeah.
Air France, Israeli, El Al, and then on JetBlue many times. We went Florida JetBlue. I took Frontier, and I never took Spirit.
Yeah. How did you set that up for yourself, though? Did you meet people in a place? Did you just travel by yourself somewhere?
I like to try new experiences and stuff. So I decided to go on a vacation to travel. I've been to Israel. I've gone to Birthright too, so I traveled to Birthright.
Was that your first time traveling to Birthright?
Oh no, I used to travel to school in Florida, so I used to take planes a lot from Florida. So,
Okay.
I used to travel to Florida because my school's in Florida, so I did a federal. But I do a lot of traveling. I also take
Any advice for people who might want to take a plane by themselves?
Yeah, they have strict security. Actually, my doorman is also works. Well, my doorman's brother actually works as an air marshal, so I can tell more about that.
Do you have a question over here behind you? Did you go to Dominican Republic?
I've never been there, no. But my doorman's actually from Puerto Rico, so I like to go there sometime.
Oh, you went to Puerto Rico?
No, my doorman's from Puerto Rico.
Oh, you want to go?
I want to go to Puerto Rico because my doorman's actually from Puerto Rico.
What did you study at Deakin University?
I studied human services, psychology, Maslow hierarchy.
And that was before the pandemic, or after?
Yeah, before the pandemic. I also studied business, restaurant management, all that kind of stuff. I took a class on
Yeah, you have a question?
very different. Well, when I was in Panama, actually, I was in Panama, and I stayed at the embassy. I knew someone from the consulate that actually lived was stationed in Panama. So when I was in high school, he told me to come down there and meet him. And they live like the king and queen down there.
First class, right?
People got money.
I have a question for Oscar.
Yeah.
Oscar, what is some of the things that go into maintaining a job for 10 years? What can you tell us about Shake Shack?
I do a lot of cleaning, I do greeting, I do errands, go all different checks, do coffee and tea runs, I go to the home office, drop off paperwork, I do a lot of errands for Shake Shack. When I go out in the community for Shake Shack, it makes the day go by faster to get stuff, go to other.
How did you get that job?
Through Job Path that gives me support at Shake Shack. Thank you.
Oh yeah, I also forgot to say, I met 2 movie stars when I was in California.
Wow.
I met Owen Wilson and Nicolas Cage.
Wow.
Yeah, I met 2 movie stars. I forgot to mention that when I was in California.
Yeah.
One was there.
Yes.
What's your favorite presentation that you have given, Oscar?
My favorite presentation I've given was when I presented at the University of New Hampshire in Austin, Texas. I flew alone. And Indiana last year for Best Buddies.
You flew alone.
Twice I flew alone.
I've been on training plane. I also been on 2 cruises.
Well, when you started at JCC, what was one of your favorite films that you played?
My favorite at the JCC was the Ezra film,
Okay.
Real Abilities, on the opening night last year on the first night.
Okay. And keep the change.
And
Oh, I know that girl. I'm not saying that. I know.
Yes,
I
we
know
are.
someone that was in that movie, but I'm not gonna say.
Right.
You guys did an amazing job. To end today, Oscar is going to show you.
My independent life. We're gonna share my independent life. Monica told me I'd be there all private.
Oh yeah, I want to talk about my Law and Order.
Wait, not yet, right?
I want to talk about my Law and Order.
Oh, we could do that. Let's watch my independent life and then we'll talk about more Law and Order.
Well, I brought my business cards for any other connections for afterwards to the board and everybody.
No, I haven't seen you in the clinic lately. Anyway, you haven't come to late night to the clinic? Appointments?
I do still suffer from why arthritis of our count, why angry foreign leader cats, they do a lot for why Marta, que fue traerme por mí, por
Means you don't want to see inside, right?
Deborah, guess who came? Marta came like usual.
DNA
You gotta turn off the lights in my independent life. 3, 2, 1.
Everyone just be careful if you're eating popcorn right now for lights off.
I've been working for the Harvard Law School and supports Boston. The Oscar show tells my story. ¿Cómo es el proceso para trabajar en la agencia estatal? Through the eyes of those who are important to me. Does your social service agency go to conferences or just film recordings? The Oscar show will show the world about my independent life. Hi, my name is Oscar Siegel.
You say hi, Oscar?
Hi, my name's Oscar Siegel. Welcome to the NYC Film and Life Camera Offering. My name's Oscar Siegel. And I work at Shake Shack in Forest Hills, Queens. I have autism. I have so many talents, and these are the talents I want to talk about today. I love to take walks. I love to read the newspaper. I love watching YouTube videos, going to concerts, and listening to classical music. And I hope I have my own YouTube channel called The Oscar Show. I am independent.
How do you stay so upbeat? You're generating so much happiness and enthusiasm for life. How do you do that?
I'm an active person. I don't go from down. I'm outgoing. I go everywhere in New York City.
Yeah, but you just stay so happy all the time. You're not happy.
Yes, I do, because I tell people about this film everywhere. One of my supermarkets, Food Town. I shop here for groceries and stuff. They have dressings for salads in here. That's for soup in case it's a cold day, need something warm. They have sausage. And this is where the non-alcoholic beers, the O'Doul's I drink. I live on my own.
And I also like to do a lot of creative and innovative things. One of the creative and innovative things that I was part of was your interesting living circumstance, right? So you're one of the first people that I know that is living with roommates, and the roommates are living their free room and board in exchange to help you, but to be your companion. And that was a really cool situation and experience to be part of, and supporting you to do something different.
I don't miss my parents, and here's why. I love my new life, my new roommates, and all my new jobs. I have a job that I love. When I started Shake Shack September 23rd of 2015, I just made 7 years at Shake Shack, and when I hit 5 years, I got a big reward for Shake Shack.
You got a financial reward?
Yeah, it was between a food tour, a spa, and coffee things. I think the food tour in the Black Iron District in New York City. I am professional. And
do you guys do lectures at your as CEO or mayor? Do you guys ever give a lecture, like public speakers?
Are you looking for a job, Oscar?
No,
To do public speaking?
I am an actor.
Did you ever get asked for contact information, or did you put that out, so other people, because something got connected?
Yeah, I'll give you my business card because if you know any connections or leads, you can have my card when you step down. And if you know people have opportunities for me.
So you do it personally?
Yes, I do. I am an advocate. Supported decision making is the alternative guardianship if anything ever happens to the family. Say if a plane crashed or if the family got into a car accident, you need all the different supporters in the area. Like me, I have a big support decision making team. So Keisha, Robertson, Serena. Keisha and Serena, they help me with Medicaid. Nadine, Deborah, and Jennifer Pierce Jenny help me with advocacy. Linda does finances, Amanda Becker does employee, Andrew does transition, Jennifer Solis used to be psychologist, but she's in charge of finances, and Arnold is the therapist.
Oscar brought us, my wife and I, and our family into supported decision making. What's great about the idea of supported decision making is that it's not putting all of the power over somebody into one person's hands. The idea is really very community based. So this whole process, really, Oscar was at the center of everything. There was a whole process where they needed to work out what his priorities and goals were, who the people are that are important in his life and in what ways. And so over a period of maybe 6 months, Oscar, you went in once or twice a month?
It was once a month. I had to see Gene at 68th Street, that campus of Hunter, to work on this legal document.
And so she got to, this was somebody from the support decision-making team. So she got to know Oscar, what his needs were, who the people were in his life, and write up a document of what he wanted. And then we were brought in.
Say if ever my folks are not around, I have all these supporters to help me make all the right decisions if anything ever happens to my folks. The first two states that had this law were Delaware and Texas, and then Wisconsin and DC, and then North Carolina, now New York and Massachusetts are getting this new law. It's important for everyone to get involved in advocacy because we make a difference. I am a filmmaker.
So how did you know how to make a film?
I learned it with my phone, and I thought I started filming too.
So did you use your cell phone to do the
Yeah.
photograph yourself?
Yeah. I used it all on my phone for all the Zoom on my MacBook Alley, and I did all the editing.
And is this your first film?
Yes, it is.
So what do you think was the hardest thing about making a film for you?
Just the people, the notes we threw write up, and questions we emailed, set up dates for the people we had to interview for this film.
So corralling everybody and getting everybody on schedule.
Yep, that's correct. Wants to go everywhere across the states and the country and Canada too, and all over the place.
Great. And you have been asked to show your film where?
The next place they went to a Hungarian festival in Budapest, Hungary, and next Sunday showed positive exposure to the Disability Museum at Waterrise between 5th and Madison Avenue with this guy Rick Godani. He's also going to show the film my father Ray and I were on supported decision making, the alternative guardianship. They're going to show that film as well. Do you guys have any questions for me?
Yes, right here.
Yes, you can. I'm going to give out my business cards for YouTube. If you have any connections or opportunities for me, I can get some more leads. Yes, sure. Good.
This was such a great film. I'm curious, what's your next goal?
My next goal is to get some more festivals, more screenings, more talk panels and conferences in place everywhere across the United States and the West Coast.
Western Canada, great.
Tell me, if you could tell the world one thing that you would like everyone to do for people with autism, what would that be? More events, more awareness events. Awareness events where people can come hang out with you, or what kind of do that?
Spend time with me, do more filming and stuff.
Oh yeah, you'd like to be on camera, don't you?
Yes.
Okay, all right. Is there anything else you would like to tell everyone? What is it like to have autism? Please share that.
Autism with people's disabilities and more grades and stuff. And also more events and panels too.
Panel so people can hear your opinion, right?
Yes.
Okay.
No matter what your disability is, you can achieve anything.
What would you say to us about you as a human being?
I should say independently, I am independent and live on my own in a 3-bedroom, 2 bathrooms, 2 living rooms, and a kitchen apartment in the Bronx near Yankee Stadium.
That's a huge accomplishment, huge for any of us.
Yes, that is.
Well, we're gonna keep following you and your film and where it goes, and we wish you so much success.
Thank you, and give it my business card.
It's neat, outside.
This is my independent life.
Wonderful. Wow, Oscar, look how many people, how many agencies. Amazing. So, I just wanted to end on a quick statement that we are obviously so proud of Jeff and Oscar. You guys have achieved so much. You guys really are an inspiration to everyone here. We're all so proud of you. But everyone sitting down, anything is possible. You guys all are superheroes, right? You can do everything and anything you put your mind to. So I hope this gave you guys a little fire, right? Inside you. You want to make a film? Talk to Oscar. You want to take a plane? Talk to Jeff. You want to be an officer of an advocacy group? Ask Oscar how to get involved. You want something in real estate? Jeff's your guy. Yeah.
I'll do real estate. I know business.
Okay.
I know about, I need to